every amount of pain there.
Something big, like a Star Wars or a Marvel.
Wouldn't have been good, but would have been like,
You are at the movies with Ace
And Martin.
and we're back, another live action episode, and we did your pick with 1974's Chinatown.
That's right. We are
A
finishing
classic.
out the surprise LA Noir month that we made for some reason.
Yeah, just we didn't really plan this, but it was a lot of fun. Got to explore some interesting movies.
It was a fun gimmick. I felt like we started with the movie that was the least noir-y.
Yeah,
We started with a movie that wasn't a period. Well, I guess it was a period movie, but the period was the early 2010s. To then, a movie that's set in the 50s.
Yeah.
Made in the 90s. And then now we have a movie that is set in the 20s, 30s, somewhere in like the late 20s, early 30s, but made in the 70s. We did Roman Polanski's Chinatown.
Right off the bat, Roman Polanski, what a piece of shit.
Yeah.
but-
I fucking hate you,
Yeah.
Roman Polanski. I would not sign a petition to keep you allowed to
No.
be able for Oscar. I mean, you're a fucking pedophile. Fuck you.
I agree. I agree wholeheartely.
Yeah,
This
this movie kind of rips.
it's a great movie though.
Yeah, That's the fucking problem. And I understand that, you got to separate the art from the artist. This movie is very close to being one of the best movies of all time.
Wow.
I think that
Really?
this is one of the most strong, from a technical level, five out of 5 movies that I can think of.
Interesting. Let's set the tone. How would you kind of summarize this movie?
So the plot of Chinatown is essentially this interwoven noir mystery starring Jack Nicholson, who plays
Looking mighty
Jack-
young, especially
he's like
seeing him
Jack
spill his
Gittes.
bean.
And he's a detective. He's mostly doing private eye work. A lot of it just happens to be centered around extramarital affairs, and he who gets a little in over his head when someone pretending to be the wife of a power and electric company is allegedly having an affair. He gets all
Yeah.
this evidence on somebody who isn't his client. And it's a very interesting movie, but it ends up being about the power struggle for supplying the water to Los Angeles is kind of the heart of the mystery. And there's cover-ups, there's double crosses, there's murder, there's all this thing. And honestly, it's just a very, very conspiracy-drenched noir made 40 years after the noir movement, really.
Like Mad Max Fury Road, I think those are my top 2 movies about water supply.
Waterworld.
Waterworld.
Shout out to my favorite Kevin Costner joint.
But yeah, the biggest standouts to me, I think there were 2 key swerves that really got me in this story, and that was that originally the wife that set up the job for Jack wasn't the wife, and then later on we see some pretty unsettling unravelings between a father and a daughter that I really didn't see coming, especially for a movie in 1974. It's kind of wild subject matter.
And you're like, oh, who directed this again? Oh,
Yeah.
You're like, this isn't a Woody Allen movie. Yeah, no. I think this movie's really, it's really unique.
Why do you think it stands the test of time, even with that Roman baggage?
So there's not only the Roman baggage, but quite honestly, the main character is kind of a bit of a racist.
Yeah.
He's kind of like a belligerent asshole in a way.
It kind of goes into my, I guess, hot take of it. I'm not crazy about Jack Nicholson's performance. Like,
Interesting.
I know it's a noir, so it's plot heavy, but there were a lot of times when he was recapping what just went down. Like, there was a lot of car scenes that way. Yeah, I get it's 1974. They're in front of a shitty screen. But he came off a guy acting to me.
Interesting.
I don't know if there was a disconnect between Jack and the character for those certain scenes, but I don't know, something really bothered me. I think there was a little ADR as well that wasn't great either for some of those scenes as well. It's very tiny nitpicks, but going into Jack's character, he's on that Russell Crowe tier for me, though, of actors that I will watch in anything.
Yeah.
Like you say, starring Jack Nicholson, like, oh, I'm seated.
I totally agree. I think that the reason why this is one of my favorite performances of his, in counter to that, is I think there's one element of this movie, and especially with like the opening title crawl and the score and a lot of the presentation of this film, that is very much harkening back to the noir of the 19th. It's trying very hard to be a Maltese Falcon. It's very much leaning into that. And I think his performance has some nuance where sure, there's not a ton of like voiceover. It's not like him doing like the detective on a beat and it was a long dark night or whatever. Like
Yeah.
it's none of that. But like in
It's-
terms of the way he's playing the character, I feel like there is the presentable, like tough guy, I'm the hero, I can do this by myself element. I don't like the character. I really like his performance. It's in the Jack Nicholson Mount Rushmore as far as
For
I'm
you.
concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what's so cool about this movie is it is set in the era where noir movies were huge, but it's still like a 70s movie, and that pre-Star Wars 70s where it's very dark. Like we are dealing with like some interesting stuff where it was kind of before like blockbusters kind of took over, and this is a movie you might go see on like a Sunday, afternoon, and get engulfed by this, I could say, tragic story for all intents and purposes.
Definitely a tragic story. I think that this movie kind of comes like the end of the golden era of the American New Wave.
Yeah.
And right at the beginning of like that 70s auteur-driven cinema, Godfather, in my opinion, competing for like the apex mountain of what the American New Wave cinema could come to. So I think the Robert Evans producing is very, very notable.
Yeah.
You can tell this is the same guy who made Exorcist. This is the same guy who made The Godfather from a producer standpoint. I also really, really think that the is it Robert Townsend, the screenwriter? This is widely considered to be one of the best screenplays ever made.
Yes.
And I really agree with that. I think from the opening scene with Curly to the end of the movie, there is so much great information handed to you in a way that's like, there's not a single line of dialogue in this movie you can cut. Because every single thing that happens, whether you think it's important or not, turns out to be important.
And it didn't feel overbearing. Like,
no, it's not. It's not like an Under the Silver Lake.
I was about to say,
in your face the entire time with this metaphor and this thing.
Even with a LA Confidential, you're not juggling through so many characters too. You are really focused on Jack Nicholson's character, which I think really helps the screenplay as well.
Yeah, I think Jake is one of his best characters, even if I don't like that guy.
Yeah.
I think the way he plays it is like one part a Humphrey Bogart and then one part that Jack Nicholson that we know and love. Like he's doing the Easy Rider at the same time as doing the Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a good balance between this movie being a 70s movie, very much so, in terms of its tone, in terms of its information that it gives out, in terms of its paranoia. Because this movie isn't just a noir in the sense of it's like a murder mystery. There's this layer of conspiracy theory and this layer of underlying power that is simply unshakable.
And to have it set in LA, I think is perfect, because even now there's still kind of like a mystery around LA in a way where it is still kind of eerie. Yeah. Like it's like, oh, there's just some weird shit going on here.
You built a city in the desert to support a movie industry.
Yeah. Then doesn't have the great track record for those first couple of movies as well. Shot in LA as well. Not the greatest. Jack Nicholson's character probably really likes them, but
yeah, I really liked rewatching this movie. It's one that I've seen probably 5 or 6 times in my life. And I was really like focused in on like the technical achievements that this film does. Yeah. There's a lot of long takes with like a handheld camera that don't really seem that impressive by today's standards, but are really impressive by 1970.
Yeah, it looks like a movie, and less than a decade before that, movies were still kind of shot kind of in a sitcom way where it is more of a stage, but this one is like we have to bounce from location to location, and it feels like we are in a world rather than watching something.
And there's all these like long tracking shots. The one that comes to mind is when he gets to the quarry and they're talking about the water supply, and it starts in the car and it keeps tracking up and up and up, and then it follows them to walk to the top of the reservoir, and then somehow gets beyond the edge of the reservoir. And you're like, the camera operator was holding this in the Steadicam wasn't invented yet.
Yeah.
That was 4 years
So
later.
I didn't think about that.
The camera is handheld and starts on the front of a car and goes all the way down this road through a 3.5 minute long dialogue sequence up to the railing and over the railing for a wide angle dialogue coverage of an entire scene. The whole scene's 2 takes.
Wow.
And then I mean, I don't want to get into the ending just yet, but the way that scene is done is fucking brilliant.
Yeah. The build up and the build up to the movie, you really think like Jack Nicholson's character is going to ultimately save the day, quote unquote, too. So, did you, when you first watched it, did you get who was kind of behind all this right away, or was there things that kept you guessing? It felt very LA Confidential to me, where I'm like, I kind of know what's happening in this main plot, but there are different layers here that's kind of wild.
Yes. I think the first time I saw this movie, I was probably like 16 or 17. It was probably like toward the end of high school for me.
Yeah.
And I was really invested in like the main plot of like, I figured this guy's like private investigation job is primarily figuring out these these like intermarital relationships and giving them a conclusion.
Yeah.
Like, I really, really like how the movie starts with him and Curly. And he's like, look, I'm not trying to rob you blind. Like, the character has his own morals. Like, he's really not in it for the money. He refuses to embezzle money.
Yeah.
He's not doing it for like blackmail. He's not even really doing it for the publicity.
No.
He's not happy that these stories make the paper. He's not the one publishing them.
The barber scene's really apparent that he really does care what people think, or doesn't care what people think per se, but he wants to be a parent, like, hey, I'm not a sleazeball here.
Yes.
Like, I'm trying to help somebody.
Yeah, and he's trying to give people their closure. The entire time that the first fake wife comes to him and is like, he's like,
he wanted to refuse her at first.
Let sleeping dogs lie. Talk to him.
Yeah.
Work it out. Not that big of a deal. You don't need me. You don't need the proof. If you love your husband, you don't need me. And I really, really like where his character's coming from. And so the first time I watched this movie, I was watching it from the angle of this character's motivation of he doesn't want to get involved in things that are outside of his wheelhouse.
Yeah.
But I would say on subsequent rewatches, it seems like this guy's actually like more of like a loner and kind of a loser.
Yeah.
He kind of pushes everyone in his life away from him.
He, especially with his day to day, like he's got time for this. Like we never see him like at a house with a wife or anything. He doesn't have any kids.
It seems very ego driven. It seems like he's in this for the pride of saving the day or giving someone a sense of closure.
Yeah.
And that's where like the mystery really unravels, is because now that he's been kind of framed or like set up, he has to figure that out on top of his regular caseload. And that's where I think the movie's really interesting, because I was always like so weirded out by like, why the hell is like half the thing about water? Like, who cares?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, that's actually the most important thing on earth is water. And to have this movie where the big reveal is like, it's all about the fucking water, man, is it's valuable. Like it's a good takeaway. And that's what I like learned watching it the first time. It was like, I thought this was going to be a movie about like just some snoop, some detective.
Yeah, when I first start the movie, it's like, all right, guy in the fedora walking around. We're in the noir, but no, it's got layers like an onion. And
you're gonna say this every episode.
I know, 2 in a row. It's gonna become my catchphrase at this point. I think, and I probably say it because of noirs, because they're so rewatchable too. And yeah, even in your 6 viewings, like you found something different in each one, and that's very telling.
Yeah.
Is it your favorite noir?
It's probably not my favorite noir. I think if I were to make a list of the 100 best movies I've ever seen, not necessarily 100 favorites,
Right.
I think that this is probably on that list.
Hmm.
But I think there's other noirs that would be somewhere on that list as well.
Where do you think it'd be, like top 30, top 20?
I think it's probably in like the 40 to 20 range, somewhere
Nice.
in there. Movies like of the noir style that I prefer, I would probably say Double Identity is a good one. I would say Third Man with Orson Welles is pretty high up there. Yeah, then if we get into like the neo noirs, like I prefer Blade Runner, and honestly probably 49 to this.
Would you consider Vertigo a noir?
Kind of.
It is a guy walking around and
Kind
trying to
of.
figure something out.
In that case, if we're like counting Hitchcock suspense thrillers, I would also put Rear Window above
Yeah,
this.
because that really opens. Yeah,
That feels like a noir, but the character can't move, which I think is like a really interesting premise.
Yeah, and that movie gets better with each watch.
The love for Vertigo, I get. I see why it's in like the AFI top 10 or whatever. But
I also love The Man Who Knew Too Much, I believe. Yeah.
Man Who Knew Too Much.
Another Jimmy Stewart classic.
Yep.
That's a really, you could kind of put that in that vein as well.
Sure.
Even though it's a couple on vacation, I believe. It's a very loose
I think
genre.
there's a lot of character-centered mysteries that have kind of a dark underbelly to them that I would probably put higher above this in that same list. Is Zodiac noir? You know,
yeah,
it's a true
you
crime
could definitely
movie.
make that argument.
So it doesn't feel like a noir to me.
Yeah, I feel like Jake Gyllenhaal is a noir character in this crime movie.
Yeah.
You can almost say as well. Yeah, it's kind of Blade Runner where Harrison Ford is this noir character in this sci-fi as well.
Yeah.
It's a fun genre, especially like and I understand it's a genre not for everybody because of its pacing, but I think, to swing it back to Chinatown, I think this has some of the best pacing.
I think what this movie does really, really well, despite being removed from the noir genre, is having that same bleak tonal ending where the character doesn't win.
No, it's one of the bleakest endings I have seen in a movie, like in a major movie.
No one from the team at the beginning die, but he loses everything and there's no hope for breaking what we have learned.
And the
power does not change.
And the big twist we were hinting about, the daughter of this man was keeping this woman in this house and we didn't know why. And it is her sister and also her daughter. They trick you because at first she says it's just her sister and it was making her husband happy. That's fucked up already. And then
they doubled down in a big way in this movie.
Like, it kind of, another bleak part of this is her husband because it's revolving around his death. As I was watching the movie, it became more and more apparent, which that was kind of another dark side of this. And, the father grabbing his, the daughter there and, into the night and the last words that it's Chinatown, it's haunting. And then they just walk back and it was like, I couldn't believe it. Like I was like, when it hit credits, I was like, holy shit. Like, and you just you got to sit there and take that in for a second.
No, it's bleak. And you can tell that this is the same guy who made Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
Like that.
Another bleak ending.
Those are two fucking ways to end a movie.
Yeah.
Like I really like that both those movies have an end scene that is like an all-encompassing end scene. You can't make a Chinatown 2.
No.
Can't
remake it either.
No. This is the end. Every single thread that gets brought up in this movie comes to an end. And that's why I think this movie's a whole lot cleaner, at least from a writing standpoint, than the other ones we've talked about on this month of LA Noirs.
We've talked about LA Confidential where you could do a sequel to that. And
you probably should, honestly.
There's
a series or something.
And there's a lot of, plot holes under the Silver Lake that has sent people down a YouTube rabbit hole. But you don't really get that with Chinatown. And I really with Rosemary's Baby either. When we covered that, it was like, okay, like this is the story that he wanted to tell and his team.
Yeah, and I mean, I really think it all comes down to the script. This is one of those things where I give Polanski the credit. I think maybe the presentation, and the
Yeah.
style, and the nailing of that, 1930s, 40s noir, like to a T.
Hmm.
I think the ability to kind of execute that so well comes from his like direction.
Yeah.
But I think what really makes this movie stand out as a cut above the rest and not just a nod back is how effective that information is handed out throughout the course of the movie, and it's in every line of the screenplay. One of my favorite scenes is when he first gets to that mansion, and the gardener's there, James Hong,
Yes.
and he's like explaining the pool is a waste of water and it's bad for the grass.
Yeah.
And that turns to be very pivotal for the entire run of the movie.
Which the subtitles, I watched this on Paramount Plus, I think, or Prime. Subtitles said glass, and it was really throwing me off. And I'm like, what glass?
Oh God! Because then he makes fun of his voice and says glass.
Yeah,
bad for the glass. And it's like, well, weird that Paramount Plus is being anti-Asian.
That was
anti-Asian American Paramount Plus.
Somebody should fix that. Like, it was really confusing me.
And it's not written that way in the script.
No.
So, like, come on.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, there's no way this was written that way. So like, where did they transcribe this?
Whoever's working at Paramount Plus doing the subtitles is as racist as Jack Nicholson's character in this movie. Not surprised. Fuck you, Paramount.
Yeah.
That's fun.
But yeah. What'd you give this on Letterboxd?
This is sitting at a 5 for me, I think.
It's a 4 for me. And it might get better with each viewing. It was my first time viewing compared to, yours that's been beloved in your life.
I think I had this at a 4.5 for a long time.
Yeah. It was 5 down the board with my mutual followers.
I think I moved it up to a 5 the rewatch before this. And I think the biggest reason for that is like on a technical level and on a script writing level, this is everything I want out of a movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's breaking new ground in terms of technology and in terms of storytelling. It's an homage to an era of cinema that I like a lot. And I think that script is really, really tight. I don't necessarily like the characters. I don't necessarily like the setting or the world that much, but that's like just personally. Like, that's just like my subjective taste. But objectively, I think this is one of the finest movies ever made. I do think there's an ADR line. It's like a throwaway. He's like, watch this or something like that in like the final scene, and how it all plays out in that one area. Then there's like a weird cutaway. If I'm nitpicking, this isn't a true 5 out of 5. Like, I think it's on. It's close. It's close. It's
you rounded up.
Perfect film, but I think it's perfectly executed in ways that I don't think other movies are.
Yeah, no, it's still, even with my 4 stars, it's still one of the best noirs I've ever watched. Like, classic. Like, if I know somebody that is getting into that sort of genre, this is definitely one of the top movies to recommend. No doubt about it.
Another thing I really like about this movie too is like the ensemble cast. There's all these like great bit part character actors that are like interwoven,
and that's what you
need
in a noir
and
too.
You can't do that story right without it.
Yeah,
like, Faye Dunaway is incredible in this movie. I think it's probably her best performance.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I really like the drama and like the stuff with like the farmers bringing like the sheep into the courthouse.
Yeah,
you're like trying to figure out like, where's this movie gonna go for like the first hour?
Yeah, I really had no idea. Like, I pretty much knew the first meeting with the father. I'm like, well, he's a part of this. Like, he's being way overly nice here, like playing LA noir moment. And but
Detective the Lion, the character's lying to you.
But no, other than that, I really didn't know what the conspiracy exactly was, or what was the point of the conspiracy until the very end. See, the script just created so many layers, like in a good way, where you could just still go back even if you know everything and find something.
That's right. Yeah. No, it's definitely one worth checking out. If you didn't happen to check it out this week, Watch
Yeah.
it sometime. It's streaming for free on Pluto if you don't have
Yeah.
Paramount.
Apparently better than what I had.
Yeah,
That,
it was
that is a
pretty
fun
good.
portion of the show, is us comparing of where we found the movies, because my Halloween, it was like the worst watch of Halloween in October.
Yeah, both of ours were bad.
Yeah.
I was watching mine on Fossum or something like that.
Yeah, and my MGM one just cut out the intro, and I'm like, one of the best parts of the fucking movie. And I'm like,
On a premium streaming service, too, mind.
But yeah, the over a very good pick. And I did, on the subject of, unfortunately, Roman Polanski, I did want to bring up, I watched 1942's Cat People, and I texted you about this. There's a lot of similarities to Rosemary's Baby with that plot. Like the whole paranoia of the woman, like kind of getting gaslit by all these men.
Yeah.
Found a Letterboxd playlist that's just movies under 90 minutes. So if it's like 10 o'clock and I like want to watch a movie, but I know I won't stay awake for like a normal runtime, and I just saw that there, I'm like, oh, this sounds fun. And I thought it was going to be like a monster movie, because you see that poster.
Yeah, like giant cats or something.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh no, this is a really good character study.
Yeah.
Like this, I was so invested by it.
Yeah, I like that movie a lot.
Yeah, just found it on a whim. So I don't even know what streaming service I saw that on, but yeah, like that was cool. Like just some interesting comparisons to Rosemary's Baby, I thought, and I was like, this was like 30 years before that.
Yeah, I really like the pool scene in that movie.
Yeah,
I think we were talking about it, like the
legit
Hitchcock,
scary.
like lean-in scenes.
Yeah,
you're like, where is this going? You're like, I'm on the edge of my seat right now because I have no idea where this movie's gonna go.
It's some really creative shots for 1942 too, where she's scratching the couch. I'm like, that's a really good like practical shot.
Yeah, and I like the really long shadows and like the harsh lighting. It's a very unique film.
Yeah, just a random movie I found on a whim. Yeah,
it's a great creature feature from RKO and a smarter one. Like, honestly, if you remade that movie and didn't change a single thing, it would just be a prestige horror movie.
Yeah.
Literally. It's literally just a prestige horror movie 80 years before the title came to exist.
And you could expand it. I saw it as a sequel. Have you ever seen the sequel to it?
I don't think The Curse of the Cat People.
I think so.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen it in full.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've watched like clips from it.
I would love to have like a talented filmmaker like remake it. Like I would love to see like somebody's
Ari Aster's Cat People.
You could really expand it too. Like I felt like I got a lot in like 73 minutes. Like you could make that a really good 90-minute movie.
Peter Jackson, what are you up to? It's been a while. We miss you. Peter Jackson's Cat People coming to Plex. Plex original.
To continue the horror, as we kind of in our, I guess, movie news portion, we always do this. But
I guess we've been doing that now.
The Clayface teaser, did drop, and call me intrigued.
I care a bit. I mean, I think it seems like a little bit of a mixed bag. Produced by James Gunn, written by Mike Flanagan, and directed by some guy.
It Follows guy, I thought.
No, I wish. That's David Robert Mitchell. That's the guy who made Under the Silver Lake.
Yes.
I fucking wish. This guy made like an episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah.
He's done a couple of he did The Descent 2. He's done The Woman in Black with Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh, okay.
He's made a fair amount of horror movies. I didn't really care for his American remake of Speak No Evil.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like director-wise, like maybe not the right choice, but it's also like
that's scary too because it's an adaptation. So he's adapting something else now.
Right, but it's an original script by Mike Flanagan.
Yeah. They're not going by the comic Clayface.
No,
obviously by this trailer, like how Clayface was, or a wannabe actor.
He's like an aspiring actor, at least the way they do it in like the animated series and most of the main novel, like graphic novel runs that I'm aware of. Yeah,
the biggest Clayface medias I know is the Arkham games and the Harley Quinn show, and I don't really remember him in the animated series.
He's got a really, really great arc. I think it's a two-parter on Clayface in that animated series, and it's really good because he's like a working actor, commercial actor. He's like always thinking about getting more cosmetic surgery, blah blah blah, and he finds like this putty and he keeps putting it on his face, and it's almost like a Universal monster movie kind of origin. Yeah, this one looks like it's going for definitely more of like that body horror pitch that we
Yeah.
got. It looks like it's going for something that has a lot of like maybe like violence or like some sort of like uh inciting incident that's different from the graphic novel. I think this teaser was enough for me. I really like what they're doing with the practical effects on the makeup and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And unless we get like some sort of trailer before Supergirl, I think I'm probably tapped out on seeing trailers for this and looking it up. Kind of just want to let the movie speak for itself. I
Yeah.
feel like if I get the plot revealed to me before seeing it, I won't care that much.
Yeah, I feel like if maybe for the casuals they might need a little bit more in the trailer, but I feel like for us that are, familiar with what's going on in DC and stuff, this was a fine like teaser. I'm like, yeah, I don't really need to see more. I kind of get what's happening here.
I hope that it's able to find a unique tone that isn't like super serious and political and like
Yeah.
social commentary.
They moved it to October, which I think will actually help
I
it.
think it's a good idea because
Yeah.
last October had like no horror movies,
Yeah.
but every month before
And-
and after had a ton.
Every Venom movie made money in October.
And this kind of, to me, feels in line with those Venom,
Yeah.
like Sony making standalone Spider-Man movies. Like, I hope it's better than those.
You have a friend or partner that's not into superhero movies, but it's October. You can maybe talk them into this since
Yeah.
it does have horror elements.
And it doesn't look like it's going to be a superhero movie. I don't think there's going to be a scene where Clayface, as we know him, of this big brown
Yeah.
muck monster, is fighting
Will
crime or Batman.
Will people expect Batman? Will that be a detriment to the movie? I wonder.
don't think so.
I think we're okay. I think Joker proved that you can have a successful
Yeah.
movie without Batman.
And that's kind of what I'm hoping this movie doesn't become, is I hope it's not another
Yeah.
Joker. Because
Yeah.
quite frankly, I can't stand those movies. I hated both of them.
Yeah.
I'm one of the rare people that didn't like the first one. Or
No,
really the
I think the
second.
first one gets worse with each rewatch for
I
me.
think that movie's all surface level shit. It's a rip-off Scorsese joint.
He gives it his all for some reason. And
Score's all right.
yeah,
Editing's pretty bad.
it felt it felt like a ripoff, not a tribute.
I hope that this finds its own unique tone. Like, I hope it really goes into like the surreal and like the monster movie of it all.
Mhm.
Or I hope it does something that is, it can have political or social commentary like other body horror movies tend to. It needs to be about capital S society.
It's interesting, we just had The Substance, which was big on, the image of women as women get older, especially in the entertainment industry, how they struggle with that.
Yeah,
For
and
this
themes of like body dysmorphia.
Yeah, is an interesting take here. Like they could dabble in that, especially in acting. Like if you're just a decent looking guy, you could get by in the world of acting. But what if you are very insecure? And I think there is a lot to tackle there.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing it. I'll
Yeah.
probably definitely check that one out. Whereas like Supergirl, I feel like there's a chance I just wait for that one to hit streaming. I'm not a superhero.
There really is.
I'm really not a superhero guy anymore.
No, the only one that I think I'll see in theaters is Spider-Man, but that's kind of outside sources because I know my friends are very attached to those movies, so I know I'll get a group.
Speaking of, you seen Michael this week?
I want to. I was jokingly gonna say, are we gonna see Michael tomorrow if the baseball game's rained out?
I already have tickets for Monday, but I'll see it twice, I guess.
Oh, I don't know if I want to do that to you. The reviews don't look great.
The reviews don't look great. If I sit through that movie 2 days in a row, though, that'd be pretty funny.
That would be Elvis energy. Like
I did do that. I saw Elvis in theaters twice.
I was about to say you're like cursed with music biopics.
I don't like them, and then I got stuck seeing them in theaters twice.
Yeah, the big person I want to know the opinion of, Javon, friend of a show, biggest MJ fan I know. I really want to know what he thinks of it and stuff. And we might get on, which I guess we can announce here in the build up to Spider-Man Brand New Day. We're going to go through at least the live action Spider-Man movies. We'll see if we have enough time to get through the verses, but I definitely want to do the live action ones.
Yeah, we should plan that out.
Yeah. Yeah, JVH was saying the same thing. But yeah, we're going to do the Raimi trilogy with JVH. So that should be a fun 3 episodes. And then we'll see what we'll do for Amazing and the MCU ones. But I'm excited to revisit the Raimi movies. It's actually been a while for me.
I think I watched all 3 of them last year.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's been since, when we covered them during COVID. Like,
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, like just sit down and watched all 3 of them. I think it's been like 5 years for me.
All right. Canadace, it's Chinatown.
Still no outro.
That's about as good as you're gonna
Yeah.
get.
It's Chinatown.
Yeah.